Hey guys, what I want to show you today is a little project that I've been working on lately. Some of you may recognize it, probably not. The locket from the Illusionist. This is a really homemade, simple version. The one in the film isn't actually, the one in the film is like three different props, so it can't actually be made. You can make similar ones, but I don't really have the tools to do that, so I've gone and made. This is the simplest and probably the easiest way of actually getting a similar effect. And yeah, something handmade is always better than something that you buy online or made from like a casting or whatever. So this, just to let you know, I have no prior woodworking experience or anything like that. This is all been a learning experience for me. I've learned so much, and I'm looking forward to attempting this project again. Maybe using some different materials. Like I said, I'll get into that in a. I'll probably get into that in another video where I want to actually show people how I made this. But essentially, what I've done is I bought teak wood. First mistake: teak is not good for this kind of. Well, the teak I bought was not good. Like you can see here, I wanted wood that's really thin. Now this is 1.5 millimeters thick, and I built that up. I put 3 layers to make a 4.5 mil for the base, for the main body of the locket. And my first mistake was that teak doesn't glue well when it's untreated, and that's the wood I bought. So I had to clean down all the teak with alcohol wash just to get it to stick. So then I had my 3 pieces like that, and they were stuck together. So I cut them out, and this is what I ended up with, this shape. If we can just focus a little bit. 1 second. That should do it. And now you see, I've also put magnets in my project, so I have 2 magnets here and 1 at the bottom. And that's just so when you're twisting the locket, it gives it a nice click, and it also helps to hold it in place just a little bit firmer. Also, you can see here I've got this sort of chiseled out barrel, and that's for, which I'll show you later on, these front pieces that actually make up the piece of the locket that folds out. But we'll get to that in a second. So this is the main body, and here's another piece of, or the opposite side of the main body. And this is just simply, this is what the locket rotates around, and that is simply a nail placed inside like a pen refill, like an ink cartridge, a piece of an ink cartridge that I cleaned out and cut down to size. So that's just really simple. And the nail is glued into the wood about probably that far in, not much further. As I said, we're working with quite small pieces of wood here, so. And that just simply goes into there like this. And you'll see in a second that the magnets take effect. These are quite powerful magnets. And there you are. And that's the base of the locket. I've also started to drill some, the bit I was using kind of wore out, because I didn't really have I didn't really want to like use a drill to drill into the wood, so I used a flat bit, and it didn't turn out that good. I've also put a magnet here but we'll get to that in a second actually. So that's the basic locket, and you can see it's not glued together yet, but once this piece of plastic here will be glued into the wood here, so only this piece of plastic will spin, and like it spins around the nail that's solid in the wood, like you can see there. But at the moment it's not glued in, but it still works just fine. So like this, and then I'm going to twist it round and I'll let it go. See the magnets take effect, and it's in the heart shape. And then I'll twist the opposite way to go back. Like I said, I've been doing this by hand. I've hand sanded everything, so it's not perfect, but I'm really happy with, as my first project, I'm really happy with the outcome. And that clicking noise is just so satisfying. I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but yeah. And then if I just pull this apart here, as I showed you before, we've got the barrel inside there, and that's to allow these pieces of wood. What I did was I got a piece of dowling, I think it was 4 mil, and I shaped it so the top of it here just extrudes out. And I tried, this probably isn't the best way to do it, but I actually cut the dowling, if I get the 2 pieces together, I cut the dowling straight down the middle, so one piece is bigger than the other. I wouldn't recommend that, like if you want a perfect piece, but it did the job. And I just cut a tiny little like dimple into this piece of wood and glued that straight in with Gorilla Glue, and I also reinforced it with a bit of wood glue. And like you can see, that makes the circle there. And if I grab these two pieces, sorry, it's this piece. No, it was that piece. Sorry. If I grab, oh no, it was that one. I'm all over the place. If I grab that and just place that into there, as so, you can see they line up relatively well. And that allows this to freely rotate within the barrel. It's not the strongest piece. Maybe if I ever did make this project again, I'll try to get it out of maybe metal, so you can be sure that it's not going to break. But wood seems to be holding up just fine. So I put both barrels in there. You can see. Hopefully you can see that relatively well. It seems to be focusing. And once it's all glued together, obviously it'll be a lot more sturdy and rigid. But let's just put those together. There we are. And that, as you can see, there's the normal locket. It's a little bit flappy here, but I'll explain that in a second. And then you twist it round and you push, and there's the locket. And the photos or whatever you want to put in there will be there. So it's like that. It also goes the other way, like this. It does rotate 360 degrees, like that. And that's pretty much it. If I just pull it apart, you can see here that I've put a magnet there as well. This wood's really thin, so I'm just looking for a tiny piece of metal that I can just glue there, and that will just hold it together, so it'll be a little bit firmer than just the wood on its own, just the friction from the wood. So when you pull that out, it will click a little bit, and when it's in the the pendant shape, like this, then it'd be just a little bit firmer. That's come out there. But yeah, once it's all glued together, and I'm gonna just paint or dye the wood, or I'm not too sure actually what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe paint it or stain it, and then I'll probably put a pattern on there similar to the one in the movie. Yeah, but if I did make this project again, I'd definitely use a different type of wood. I'd be a little bit more meticulous in my sanding, and I wouldn't make mistakes like putting the barrel in the wrong side or the wrong position. And I would probably recommend making this out of something else but wood. But wood seems to be holding up. I'm just worried that it will eventually break off. But yeah, that's the basic design. I'm going to be making a more in-depth tutorial on the materials I use and how I use them to reach this final project. But all in all, for my first project, I'm quite happy. It's going to be a gift for someone, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you'll come back for the making tutorial.